Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
Welcome all of my friends to Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but you can call me Captain Black Box. And across from me is Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening, Captain.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Loving life, living large.
Yeah, you are. You really are.
I got $100 bills coming out my asshole.
How did that happen?
I shoved a bunch of them up there.
I don't know if that's part of
It's Monopoly money.
Tyler's fan fiction.
No, yeah.
Well, just cramming things in butts.
Oh, he loves the butts. No, it's been unseasonably cool for this time of year.
I love it.
I'm not loving it because I feel as though I'm just pissing money away with this pool outside that nobody can get in.
Yes. I don't have a pool, so I love it. But for a man who has a pool, you probably don't love it.
And I was really kind of concerned. I talked to DSJ the other day, and I was like, "Hey, it's been cooler. It's still August. What's going on here? Do we need to worry about the plane? Like any of the levers going to stick, or the flaps and stuff?"
He always has, just like Biff Tannen in Back to the Future 2, carrying around the almanac in his back pocket. DSJ always carries around a farmer's almanac. So
sure.
You probably reached out to him and say, "What's up with this weather?"
And he said, "Just relax, bro."
Yeah, it's just that simple. That's you know what? Anymore, since he had this kid, he's so mellow anymore. Like, he was a raging ball of testosterone before.
True.
But now he's kind of mellowed out, and that's almost his answer to everything. Like, just chill out, bro.
Everything's very philosophical with him. He's like, be one with the earth.
He's always kind of like looking at you, but not looking at you. You know what I mean? Like, kind of just like trying to take in life and expel his wisdom.
And which I think is a bunch of bullshit. Because
yeah, so do I. Yeah, absolutely.
We hired him because he was all about us, and everything was about us. For the first 8 seasons of this show, it was all about us. Everything we wanted, we got.
Yeah.
And now it's like we're having to compete with this fucking kid to get time.
Yeah, I don't care for that at all.
No, I mean, it's us that should be first.
Yeah, again, not to dwell on Back to the Future, but the other day, just like at the end of Back to the Future 1, you got Biff outside waxing, George McFly's car, and he's like, "Now, Biff, you're not trying to con me, are you now?" He's like, "No, I'm sorry, Mr. McFly. I'm just ending the first coat of wax." DSJ barely waxes the plane at all anymore.
Right, you have to force him to, whereas before he would do 3 layers of it before we even realized what he was doing.
That thing, our Air Force One used to shine like a beacon in the sky because of the amount of wax.
And we had about 7 knots faster in second gear.
Yep.
Because it was just so streamlined because it was just the wax just
cutting right through the Earth's atmosphere.
But now it's like we're having to put in a third gear.
I don't want to have to do that. That's what the wax is for. That's why we spend the money on the high quality wax. We just need a person of indiscriminate mental ability to put it on the plane.
I'm beginning to think, we're getting ready for season 10.
Right.
We're getting ready to hit that 100 mark.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm thinking maybe it's time DSJ. I mean, I haven't come to a decision yet, but if he doesn't have time to do it right, maybe he doesn't need to have time to do it.
Whoa, hold on a second. Wow. Okay, you know what? We were kind of, not to use a pun, but waxing on a little bit about his ongoings or lack of ongoings, but I never meant to take it there.
Well, I'm just frustrated. I mean, there's an expectation. We have CouchCon coming up.
It is a big deal.
In about a month and a half.
Yep.
And, this plane needs to be in tip-top condition for us to safely fly the friendly skies.
I don't deny that.
We have 7 listeners that depend on us giving them what they need.
Sure.
For us to do that.
Are the numbers really that bad?
I don't know.
Nope. Don't look. Do not look.
I haven't looked today at all.
Well, don't look at all. Don't you dare look.
All right. No, I don't think they're that bad, but
okay.
they I feel as though it should be better.
We are good.
I think we are. I think it's good.
We you know what we have? We have chemistry. And you and I didn't even sign up for chemistry.com to find that out. We did it the old-fashioned way by getting drunk at a bar and making out behind the jukebox.
To Queen.
Hell yeah! What song was that?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh boy! I said Ishmael, right? Do not let him go.
Oh.
And you said, let me go.
Oh, is that what he says?
I was really hoping. That
I didn't
we
know
would
any
work
Russian.
Apparently, we don't have chemistry.
We've never met each other before. No, so I'm upset right now. I'm going to take a couple weeks off from dealing with him. I would prefer that you just deal with him for the next couple weeks and just, don't hint to him, that his job's online or anything. But I'm just concerned about it.
I hear you. Okay. Well, let me talk to him. I'm a father. I know you're a father too, but father to father, I would like to speak to him.
Okay.
And maybe calm him down, get his head back on track, and back in the game that is Couch Pilots.
I wish he would just leave that fucking kid with that lady.
Yeah. Did we ever get the kid's name?
Yeah.
DSJ
Junior.
DSJJR?
Yeah,
That's
DSJJR. Right. Fan feedback?
Yeah, let's hear some red hot fan feedback.
All right, here we go. We got a voicemail.
Hey guys, this is Tyler. Just watched the Driving Miss Daisy episode, and I thought it was pretty funny that the show ended with Captain Rest Assured getting a little frustrated from big words that he didn't understand. It's funny that it ended that way because it kind of started that way too with my fan feedback. I didn't say material queen of the VJs. I said matriarchal, which is the materfamilias. I was referring to your mother, which you and her have confirmed she is queen of the BJs.
Wow. That was good.
Also, I got 2 recommendations. One is the Orson Welles show from 1979. It's Orson Welles on stage talking to Burt Reynolds, Jen Henson doing magic tricks, and just stroking his big ass fucking ego the whole time. The other is Where's Rodney with Rodney Dangerfield. That is a gem. And it sucks that I listened to it so early because I got a big hankering for an egg sandwich, at the end of it. Now that I'm home, I can finally eat my egg sandwich. And I want to thank you for bringing that to my attention because this is just absolutely delicious. That's about all I got going on.
Egg sandwiches are good.
I love that. You're very quick to say, take that pen away from Big E. He's making noise. I love egg sandwiches in my mouth.
Well, I was very, for a long time in IBWIP, I did not want anybody eating anything at all.
And you used to eat pizza on the show.
And you're right.
Do as I say.
Yeah, when Scott was banging the shit out of that pen, I mean, it was just because he was
excited. He was happy to be here.
Right, but he didn't need a pen in his hand.
And maybe not an egg salad in your face, huh?
Not egg salad. That's gross.
Yeah, just regular fried egg on a piece of bread. That's where the action is.
Speaking of fried eggs, we have another voicemail.
No. We're going to respond to Tyler.
Oh,
first.
I'm sorry.
Tyler,
I'm sorry.
First of all, thank you so much. The rule of threes in comedy, of course. Tyler, thank you so much for giving all this fan feedback. We truly do love it. And I will say, in response to the 2 pilots you mentioned, I think I have kind of been dancing around the Orson Welles one. I am aware of it. I don't know that I have a link to it yet. I made a note of it.
I think he sent links.
Okay, well I'll take that link for sure. As far as Where's Rodney, believe it or not, I do know about that one, and we will be doing that. That is from the year of our Lord, 1990, and it is if you want to leg up on this shit, it is at dailymotion.com. So download the app for Dailymotion and check out all the commotion for Where's Rodney if you want.
So we're going to see them pretty soon then.
We will see those very soon.
Because Tyler asked for them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Tyler.
Tyler, I really, to be honest with you, it amazes me on your fan feedback how spot on you are about stuff. He knows us. He knew the things that during the episodes, and he calls back.
He calls back to last week's episode. He calls back to an episode of IBWIP 2 years ago.
Right.
The man is some sort of
savant.
Perfect.
I don't know if that's too big a word for you.
What a fucking prick you are. All right, let's hear some more voicemails. Absolutely.
This message is for Philip Restashore, a.k.a. Blake Clayton. It's your old friend. We haven't spoke or seen each other in a long time. I don't even know if you remember me. But, yeah, I do know you remember me because you can't stop talking about me. That's right. It's your old lover, Angie Vecchio's vagina. I don't even know if you remember me. But yeah, I do know you remember me because you can't stop talking about me. That's right. It's your old lover, Angie Vecchio's vagina. I just wanted to call and say that we listen to the show regularly every week to see which one of us is going to get mentioned this time. And all the other ladies, I mean, there's over 100 of them, are getting very upset that I'm getting all the glory. And I just wanted to let you know it's been a while, but I miss you.
Oh.
I miss the things you did. You know what I'm talking about.
I didn't know what I was doing back then.
I don't need to get into details. Perhaps that Tyler fella can write up what I'm leaving unsaid. But I digress. It's lonely and dry, and knowing you as much fun as it used to be in the back of the car. But I'm happy that you still think of me. Keep flying the friendly skies and keep thinking of me, baby.
Wow. I told you saying the last names of these people would get you in trouble. She said we are listening. Now, is that her vagina and her? There's
Right.
two that have the same voice that are calling in?
Yes.
There's almost no pause in the handover to the vagina to start speaking.
Which is ironic because back in the day when we were dating, she had a lot more high, squeaky voice, and it seems like over time, it's,
Over time, things settle, right?
right.
So,
Maybe her Adam's
yeah, maybe her Adam's apple dropped. Who knows? That's impressive. We've been talking about this woman for a while now.
I need to find some pictures. I need to go. This show is built in the back. There's back burps.
Tooth is loose.
The tooth is loose, just like OJ. He's out.
He lost all his teeth.
Yeah, I mean, there has been over 100 women, and I know that I got very graphic a couple episodes ago about my relationship with a married woman, and
Right.
After telling the story, I realized I probably shouldn't have told that story.
She had overalls.
I probably should. Yes, she did. It was so cute, little Converse.
What was her name?
Stephanie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, not Stephanie Clark.
Oh, not her.
No,
because I was thinking it definitely was her.
No,
Come on.
I thought about.
No. Maybe stop right now.
No. I thought about instead of that story, because that made me look like a monster.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I should have told you the story about the girl that was a hairdresser who had a rod in her back.
Here we go. Okay. We'll rack them up. Break them.
All right, she was a cute girl, short, dark hair. She was a hairdresser.
Okay.
And she wore, like really like bright lipstick. And she was the sweetest could be. She was. I was chasing that tail for like a month.
How old were you?
Late 20s.
And how old was she? Please say over 18.
Oh yeah, no, she was over 18. She was in her mid 20s.
Okay. So what, you kept going getting haircuts every other week?
No, I just kept flirting with her at the bar.
Okay.
Chantilly lace and
Oh,
a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down. She was cute. She had short hair, so you saw her neck. I wanted to say her name was Mary.
Mary.
Why you got a rod in your back? And I remember I finally got her to have sex with me. And that's when I found out about the rod in her back.
How did you get her to have sex with you?
Did you
wooed
blackmail her? No, I just wooed her. I was
what's
super
your move?
sweet.
What's your
I
move?
was sending her flowers, and I was super sweet to her. And I was always like, oh, no, it's cool. We can just hang out.
And how long did that relationship last?
We had sex that one time.
Only that one time?
Yeah, and then I found out she had a rod in her back, and all she could do was lay on her back. I never talked to her again.
She couldn't get on top? No. She's like, I'm good. I'm one position Mary.
Yeah. I wish I was making it up.
So she couldn't go face down?
No.
What about ass up?
That's the way I like to fuck. But all she could do was missionary.
Aw, missionary Mary.
I love that. She was nice, too. She was a sweetheart.
Whatever happened to missionary Mary?
I don't know.
What happened that she had a rod in her back?
I don't know. She had some kind of spinal bifida or something.
Did you put a rod in her back?
No, it wasn't awesome.
Aw.
It wasn't awesome. And then there's that girl that was on crack.
You had sex with a girl on crack?
Well, she wasn't on crack at the time. That would have been weird. But so I apologize.
So you're not a monster after all.
I was the victim a few times. I really liked that girl.
What does that
crack.
mean, victim?
Huh?
You mean ghosted?
Well, no, I'm just saying that I wasn't always the asshole. Like
the girl on crack was the asshole. Is
yeah,
that right?
Yes,
She
was the asshole in the story.
What did she use you for? Crack money?
No, I was one of those. I was like the guy like when she was trying to get herself clean.
Okay, so
You know
she
what
was
I mean?
trying to go straight and narrow.
Trying to go
Say,
straight and
here's
narrow.
a handsome fellow who's funny and sends me flowers. I don't have a rod in my back. We'll see if we can make a run of this. And then she crapped out on you?
Yeah, and she was about to move in, and she relapsed.
Ooh.
And yeah, like, then her like dad and her brother had to come get her stuff that she had moved into my apartment.
Ooh, boy. Boy, well, I almost said crapped out on you, but she cracked out on you.
Cracked out.
She really did rehab. How long were you seeing this?
Crackhead?
Right.
It was a couple months.
After a couple months, you're ready to have someone move in with you.
I was trying to help her out.
You're not wasting any time, buddy.
Well, no, I was trying to help her out.
Well, that's very
she was
nice
in a
of you.
situation, and I was trying to help her out.
How old were you then?
About 30-ish?
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
See,
No. Wait, it was way before that. I would have said Mary was mid-20s, and
What's this girl's name?
I want to say it was Angie, too. I had sex with a lot of Angies in my life. Why are we talking about this?
My mother's name is Angie.
Your mom is adorable.
Did you have sex with my mother?
No, but I do follow her on Facebook.
Fair enough. All right. Boy, do we have more fan feedback?
Definitely.
Or?
We have a bunch
Oh,
of
do we really?
Yeah,
All right, let's tear through this shit.
We got to go through a lot of these.
Let's tear it.
Let's see. Oh, this is from Thomas Kingston, and this is in regards.
Really? I'm really starting to like this guy.
I love him. I love him to death. And this is from Superboy, The Adventures of Superboy.
Okay, yeah, great.
It says, I wish this would have gotten picked up just so I could have watched it on Nick at Night right after the Monkees.
That dude is right. That's exactly where that kind of show would
Yep,
be.
I give it a 5. And I said, it wasn't bad.
Oh, and he watched it too. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, very cool.
It wasn't bad. I wish everyone from it wasn't dead so we could find out why it didn't work.
I will listen to the podcast How Did This Get Made,
Uh-huh.
right? But I never watch the movies unless
no.
unless I've already seen them in the past. So this is I love it when our frequent flyers decide, hey, I'm going to check out the pilot. That's really cool to me. So I'm super glad he did that.
Yeah, and he says, I assume the cost to keep it going, it was mostly Western back then.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yep.
Let's see, that's from my wife. Oh, do you want to skip the Spoon Man bullshit?
Spoon Man.
We'll skip the Spoon Man
From
bullshit.
Soundgarden?
No, from Twitter.
Spoon Man.
From Twitter. We'll skip it. Dee Dee from Australia.
Oh, Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
No,
fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that fat ass.
Jesus.
Dee Dee sent us a picture to us, and it says, it looks like it's a good year for the roses. And she's got a pretty picture of a nice, beautiful rose. Beautiful blossom.
I love anytime someone calls back something from the show. I still have yet to find out what it means to have a good year for the roses, but there's a beautiful picture of one.
Well, it's when I have sex.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
All right. Dee Dee also sent us this article. It says, this might be going cheap. DSJ might be able to get you a deal. U.S. finalizes deal for new Air Force One jets once disdained for Russian airliner.
Well, we had talked about DSJ has met multiple presidents through things like the Special Olympics, where he's a power lifter. He worked for the Trump campaign. That's how we got our hands on some of this stuff. And who knows what the future brings, because as it's been pointed out before, every president gets a new Air Force One, right? The taxpayers put all this money in this super technologically advanced machine that is meant to protect and transport the president, and when it's over for them, people like us sometimes reap the benefits.
Right. It says here, this is from CNN, so it's not fake news.
Great. I hate fake news.
I hate it too. This is the United States Air Force announced Friday that it has finalized a deal to purchase 2 already built aircraft from Boeing to serve as the next generation of Air Force One, flying future presidents around the world for decades to come.
Awesome. Very cool. Love Boeing. Love DSJ. All hail President Trump.
Definitely. This is from a text message from our good friend Scott Elam, Big E.
Big E on a few weeks ago on Driving Miss Daisy
Yes.
podcast.
He obviously was in a toilet somewhere.
Oh, perfect.
And took a picture.
He took a picture in there?
Yeah. It says you're on here. The captain has his own line of toilet seat covers, and if you look at it, I'll post this on our Instagram.
I've not seen this.
When this comes out. The company is called Rest Assure.
Oh, I did see that. Yes. Okay, very funny.
So
So he's taking a huge shit somewhere, and he sees the words Rest Assure, realizes
and
it's
he
your
thought
moniker.
he thought of me as he was pooping. I loved it.
He said that's your nom de plume.
Nom de plume.
And takes a photo.
Monkey Press at Monkey Press on Twitter. That's our good friend #Soapman.
Yep.
He put Chris and I, which is his wife, are looking forward to bedtime tonight. That was the release of Driving Miss Daisy.
That's sexy.
And I put, I know what that means.
#bonin. Hashtag. I got a quick piece of fan feedback if you don't mind.
Oh, they're gonna say you got a quick piece of ass.
I wish I could have that. So you probably have it as well, but I so rarely.
Go ahead.
I came up on my phone just a bit ago concerning, again, the Driving Miss Daisy podcast, some of the comments you had and interactions you had. Stephanie Clark from the Let's Try This podcast says, just listen to last week's episode. When is this podcast going to end? LOL, what year will it end? That may have been the Superboy one and not Driving Miss Daisy.
I think it was.
So that's funny. So you had a conversation with someone who was kind of odd.
Like a bot. I think it was, yeah.
So that's very funny. That
so another woman ready for this podcast to end. That makes 3.
Thank you, Steph. We appreciate
We
that.
appreciate it. Thanks for trying to get caught up. I appreciate it. And then also when we released Driving Miss Daisy, our good friend Lori Garcia.
Oh, hallelujah.
Haven't heard from her. Was really worried about her.
To me, I love the Tylers and the Dee Dees and the Kingstons of the world and the Dustins, but Lori Garcia, early and often. You know what I mean? She's an early adopter of the show, and to me, she is up on that upper echelon of fan feedback.
Right, and then recently she got a new hairdo and a new hair color.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Big time bonable.
So haircuts are always good for you because that means less hair and hopefully more revealing of the neck.
More
That's
neck.
exactly.
I wish she would take a picture of just her neck. I think Big Dick T won't let her.
He's smart. He's smart.
But I posted in Instagram because that's her. She loves Instagram.
So that's her jam. Huh? Okay.
But it was about Driving Miss Daisy, and she put, "How racist is this pilot?" I think it was before she listened to it, and I said, "Well, the N-word is used. What more can I say?"
That kind of seals the deal.
Right.
Seals the racist deal.
What else am I supposed to say? So that's some fan feedback. People, get a hold of us on any of our social medias. We would love to hear from you. We love you, and we love everything about you all day, day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Now there you go, there you go, there you go.
Peanut butter and chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm. Those things go together.
Fish sticks and tartar sauce.
Okay, they go together, I guess.
These things are
penis and vagina.
Penis and vagina. These things.
He looked like what was the Saturday Night Live? The Pope? No, what was his name back in the 70s?
Father Guido Sarducci.
Yeah, you're like a penis and a vagina.
I'm just
Listeners
saying,
at home, if you could see what I saw, it was hilarious. It was almost as good as the Bamford imitation, accidental Bamford imitation.
That was not on purpose. There are things in this life that if you say one word, everyone else immediately associates the second word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Failed television pilots, airplane pilots, right? These things go together like so much peanut butter and jelly, right?
Exactly.
That's what this show is.
When you say right, are you expecting me to answer, or are you just confirming to yourself? Because a lot of times I feel like you say it, and I'm like, should I say something? Or
if you decide to say something that's worth saying,
if you see something, say something.
That's exactly right. Thank you for that. Today we discuss the pilot episode of My Mans from the year of our Lord 2000 plus 12. I can tell you right now, with clarity, great year.
For you, it was a great year.
And for you, it was a great year, right? You made it through that year.
I made it through.
Here you are today, living large. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. I have a kingdom. Just a little while ago, you complimented me on my kingdom's backyard, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. It was a great year. 2000 plus 12, just a scant 5 years ago.
It was after...
Post 9/11.
There you go.
Yeah. a mere 11 years after 9/11. And so I can think back then. I know what it was like because I lived through it. It wasn't that long ago. But other people may have trouble with the curve, right? So let's take people back in time. Let's get in our digital time machine and travel back to 2012. Some would say simpler times. A pre-Trump era.
I figured to say pre-Chumbawamba.
They're anarchists.
That's all right.
Let's go back to 2012 because that's when this pilot was released, and that's when you need to take in consideration how to digest this thing.
Sure. You can't look at it from 2017. It's just not fair.
It's not fair to
You
the
can't
show.
give it a good rating.
A gunman opens fire at a midnight screening of The Dark Knight Rises in Aurora, Colorado, killing 12 and injuring 58 people on July 20th. The suspected shooter, James Holmes, was captured by police, and his trial was scheduled for February of 2014. So, July 20th, right?
Yeah.
2012. And then a year and a half later, they do his trial. This is what you do. You look at a camera, you say, hey, that guy just killed people. And then you go over to that guy and say, this bullet that I have is going to go through your head. And then you save everybody, all the taxpayers, so much trouble.
Yep, exactly.
When the case is open and shut and it's something horrific like this, you just kill them.
Yeah.
That's it. Why waste people's time?
Eye for an eye.
Why the circus and the parade of press and media? Just murder him. You murder him, right? This is incredible. 58 people. He injured 58 fucking people.
And killed 12.
Yeah, that is insanity.
It boggles my mind.
Good
And
God.
I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it.
There's almost nothing funny about this.
I'm having trouble thinking of something funny to where I can sleep tonight.
Are there funny things about this guy killing these people and injuring them? You bet. But almost nothing, right?
Sure.
I've never seen you not on board with something. Hurricane Sandy devastates the East Coast.
Oh, let's tear into this shit.
This is a very dark portion of the show. And kills around 200 people. So take that, James Holmes.
It doesn't sound like a good year for the Roses.
It does not. Well, it depends on how you define the year of the roses. For fucking 100 girls, it seems all right. Kills around 200 people on the U.S. coast and in the Caribbean in October. So this is the end of the hurricane season. And the weather's like, you know what?
One more go.
Let's
one
do
more
it.
strong arm right up your fucking asshole.
Because at the beginning of the year, they say, let's start naming these, right?
Right.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, 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 all the way down to S. And they say, one more go. Let's sandy this mother out. And boy, does it terrorize the Jersey
it's
Shore.
horrible.
Chris Christie, he almost had nothing to eat for 3 hours because of this thing. You know that?
Poor guy. I don't know how he made it.
You ever been to the East Coast?
No, I've never done the
Really?
East Coast swing. Excuse me. I want to go to Boston. I do want to go to Boston. Is that considered East Coast?
Sure, I've been there.
Have
That's
you?
cool, yeah.
I really would like to go there. I'm really into the Revolutionary War and Founding Fathers.
Oh, that historical trail there is, yeah.
and I would love that. I think.
Because of Hamilton?
Well, but yeah, I'm kind of like a rabbit hole from
Sure.
that. I would be afraid I would run into fucking Mike Mitchell.
Is that where he's out of? He's in L.A., I'm sure.
But he's from Quincy.
And that's a real concern of you that you'd run into him. Okay.
Yeah.
U.S.
That and Big Pape,
Who's that?
baseball player.
All right. Oh, what's his name? What's his real name?
Big Pape.
U.S. President Barack Hussein Obamacare is reelected for his second term after running against Republican opponent Mitt Romney.
Maybe he wouldn't have won if they wouldn't have had such a shitty person run against him.
How much do you hate your kid to say, I am naming you Mitt?
Well, maybe his dad was really into baseball
Perhaps.
and he told his wife, I want to name him Bat. And she's like, that's ridiculous.
Guess again.
Mitt.
Okay.
Was that short for Mitchell? God, the guy's stalking me.
Here's the thing. You look back at Mitt Romney, you think he's kind of a cookie cutter, kind of used car salesman type of a presidential nominee. But everyone says, whatever we've seen before, it all pales in comparison to Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now
they make him out to be like the worst guy ever. He might be a piece of shit. I don't know. But it's funny because they say, Mitt Romney, no way. But now they're like, hey, Mitt Romney would be way better than this guy.
Yeah, I take it right now.
2012.
Whew.
You and I were alive. We were in age at that time. My age was 31.
I was 38 at the time.
38?
You said 31, right? Oh, 37.
It's yeah.
Give or take one. Depends when the birthday is.
Why did we choose to watch this show?
3 simple criteria. I can get it together now and do these 3. First, it had to have never gone to series. Only one episode was done. Whether it aired or not was irrelevant. 2, we had to find it on the internet, just like Tyler sending us some links. He helps us find it. And 3, it had to be free. We're not paying for this shit. We lose money each week.
I'm not going to lose money for this show.
You do, though.
I absolutely do. I'm not going to lose more money for this show.
All right.
Oh boy, those are the 3 criteria. Some people think here's a pilot. I'm gonna slide it in the back door here. It's got 2 of the 3 criteria. No, thank you, sir. Turn around and hit the bricks.
Go back to the end of the line. Think about what you've done.
Try again. So some say, where can we find this show to watch it for yourself? Well, you can find the entire episode of My Mans by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links. That's the color. The color is classically blue.
Right.
We've only been doing this for like a year and a half, 2 years, so it's not like what we're doing is considered classic. That's just the name of the color.
Correct.
And that link is in our show notes. Or you can go to Vimeo and fucking figure it out for your own self.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
They should be responsible for something once in a while. The listener.
Yes, I agree. We're all adults here, except for the children.
He's not even paying attention.
DSJ?
He's not even paying attention. He's like, could you the fucking kid? Did you?
Fucking Charo down there. Summary of the pilot. 2 best friends, one who's constantly getting into trouble, and the other who is always bailing him out. Now we've got some talking to do here in a little bit, but before we talk, we're going to talk about something else. A little something I like to call interesting facts.
Conrad rule. Conrad rule is in effect if he still listens. Please stand at attention and listen.
Conrad, do not make us change the name of the rule because of your lack of participation. All right?
Right.
Okay, so here's the real deal, George Foreman Holyfield. You've got a show. We watched it. We made notes. We're going to talk about it. But there are other things in play. There are things behind the scene. There are people involved. There's little bits of trivia that are true. And we're going to tell you about those things. But here's where it gets tricky. Here's the sticky wicket, right? You can't comment on what we're about to tell you.
Yeah. And believe me, of all the people, I should tell you, you can't do it. Last episode, we had almost a breakup. We almost beetled that shit.
I blacked out. I don't remember that.
You blacked out?
Yeah.
It sounded like it.
Yeah, what we're going to do here is tell you some facts, and you're just going to have to take them in.
Just
and
absorb them.
Accept them for what they are, and then move about your business, okay?
Yeah.
Don't dwell on it. Don't taint someone else's experience.
Hey, my man. High five that shit.
My man's. Don't ruin someone else's experience because you think a fact is good or bad or interesting or not interesting. Screw you. Screw you and your subjective opinions. These facts are for everyone to enjoy equally.
I would like the first person on our Twitter to tweet us hashtag interesting taint facts.
Right. Oh, there we go.
They will win a surprise prize.
There we go. I like that very much. All right. We will proceed. This pilot was ordered by Comedy Central, a comedy presentation from the Chicago writing / acting team of Tim Robinson, Mark Raterman, and Andy Mayara. And here's a little side piece of interesting facts. And this is something like all the stuff that I found. It's because I scoured.
Sure.
Right. I dug a little deeper, and nobody else cares except me. But if you did care, you could find these facts out. This is a Couch Pilots exclusive here.
Okay.
We have a network affectionately known as the Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network, right? And on this network, we have a show called the Let's Try This podcast.
Right.
And one of the hosts is Kevin Clark, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Kevin Clark trained at the Second City comedy troupe
And graduated
from such in Chicago, where he worked with and met Tim Robinson.
Nice.
One of the stars of this pilot. Did I pick this because of him? No. But it is absolutely.
Did you see if Kevin could get a hold of him so you could maybe get the digs?
I don't know if that is a possibility. No, I did not try that. I did not try this. But I think that's a very cool connection to this podcast.
Another connection, Let's Try This podcast and
one of our pilots?
No, my man's. The title screen and the Let's Try This podcast logo, very similar.
Okay, I see that. The My Man's pilot debuted at the 2010 New York Television Festival. So it was out a few years before they had created this thing. It didn't air until 2012, though. Robinson, Raterman, and Mayer are members of Chicago's improv troupe, the Cook County Social Club.
Cook County, that's yeah.
That's where Chicago is, sure.
Cook County Prison.
The project's history is reminiscent of that of FX's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which also started off as a video. It's three creators made together. So
you had a little trouble with that. You all right?
I am a little buzzed. Okay. But yeah, it's similar to that where the creators made these videos, and then they ended up starring and directing and writing for it. Interesting fact, right? It's a fact.
I can't tell you if it's interesting.
I'm just repeating the name of the segment.
I think you tried to stick me right there. You tried to set me up to spank me on the bottom and make my butt red.
Chicago comedians Mark Raterman and Tim Robinson both remember their favorite moments shooting the Comedy Central pilot for My Man's in Los Angeles in October. For Robinson, it was having a professional dog actor on set. For Raterman, it was filming a sex scene. I got 3/4 of a boner, Raterman says. Adds Robinson, I got a boner when the dog was there. Interesting fact.
Which one's which?
Tim Robinson is the doughier fella.
Okay.
He had a 1-year stint on Saturday Night Live. He came in the same time. This was a year, I think, probably 2013, when Kristen Wiig was on her way out with Andy Samberg and Jason Sudeikis.
Okay.
And in this year, you got Adie Bryant. You know her? She's the chunky girl. She's funny. You got Cecily Strong. And then the third guy was Tim Robinson.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Tim was demoted from a featured player
to a writer.
Very good. Yeah, the next year he was demoted to a writer. And people like Bill Hader, some of the big stars on the show, said how funny Tim Robinson was, how they loved him, how they cracked the shit out of him. So he hung on for maybe a year or two as a writer, and then eventually he's not with them anymore. But he obviously came up through Second City, got his chops, went off to SNL. I liked him on there. And he's also has an episode of The Comedian, or The Characters. You know, Lauren Lapkus was on that?
Yes.
His is hilarious.
Really? Okay, I'll have to check it out, because I watched Lauren Lapkus, and that was the only one I watched.
Was that great?
No, it wasn't great.
Tim Robinson's is very funny.
I will check that out. Thank you.
Absolutely. I don't have any Twitter responses because I was lazy. Now I'm going to go take a pee while you listen to the Low Blow promo.
In a world where we hate everything except for the things we love, there's the Low Blow Podcast. So join us every week as me, Adam Z.
Me, Dave Rowan.
And Kristen Naomi.
She might be naked.
I'm naked.
Fill your ear holes with unbiased reviews of movies, TV shows, comic books, anything Florida does, and basically the rest of the internet. Right here in the FCF network. So please check out all your favorite downloading podcasting apps for us, the Low Blow Podcast. Appropriately inappropriate.
Ow!
Gotta love that Low Blow podcast. Last month, big old Adam Z, the big man on campus, went to Comic-Con in San Diego with Kristen Naomi Garcia Rodriguez, and she was on a podcast panel, and Low Blow was represented, and so we can't wait to hear about that. Love Low Blow podcast. Love David Rowan. I love all of them. It's a great show. Check it out. News stories, pop culture kind of stuff. Definitely a good thing to check out. We've been friends with them for a long time. I think the first time I met Adam was at the Blind Staggers record release party, because he played drums for them before they kicked him out. How bad of a drummer do you have to have your own family kick you out of a band? No, just joking. And ever since then, we got a hold of each other, and we just been friends forever. Me and Adam Z, even though he doesn't think I'm funny, ironically. But check out the Low Below podcast on the FCF network. Jason, let's break down this pilot.
He thinks you're funny.
No.
Did he say that?
He specifically said during an interview that I wasn't funny.
Let's talk about that for a second.
No, we're not going to talk about
No, I
it.
want to, because you said you had heard some things on that interview that you didn't know how to respond, and you were like pleasantly surprised by them. What were those things?
Well, you diverted that because he said directly that you were funny and I wasn't, and then you were all like very PC about it, and you were like, and then he gave you some credit.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think you've got some problems, man.
I got 99 problems. My buddy Adam Z is not one.
I'll say being funny ain't one.
Oh no, being funny is one of the problems. Ask Mike Mitchell.
You're plenty funny. Follow us on Twitter if you want to know what that means. Okay, so here's something weird. I'm
just teasing, Adam.
I'm searching for pilots, right? I'm out there scouring the internet. Where are these failed pilots? I want them so bad. I love them. I just want to eat them. And I find one. I find a website from splitsider.com, and it says, hey, here's one starring Tim Robinson called My Man. I was like, I know Tim Robinson. This looks funny. This is a link that exists. I'll take it.
And right below it was Eugene Merman.
Oh, yeah. I may have that, too.
Ooh, I'd hope so.
I know you're on a merman kick right now. It almost sounds like, instead of like a mermaid, it's a merman, right?
Right. I love... I don't want a mermaid. I want a merman.
Nice.
Love the sea dick.
Love me some merman.
Love me some sea dick right now.
Big old fish cock.
You ever seen a whale's penis?
I have not.
I have up close.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Good for you.
Hit me right in the face. Hit me right in the face.
SeaWorld's a bitch, my
No,
friend.
the other day I saw this. There was this video where this big ass fucking whale was in like a marina, and like. So there's all these docks, with all the boats.
Oh, I saw that
and
too.
There's this big fucking whale.
And there's some people at the end of the dock, and then there's some people running away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you need to run away, because if he hits that dock with his fucking fin, you're going in the water. Guess what? You're dead.
Well, he's not. He probably won't eat him, but he could drag him down. This thing is in control.
Oh yeah,
not you.
Definitely. It was one of the coolest things I ever saw.
It was pretty awesome. I saw that same thing. But here's the thing: when you go to splitsider.com, you go to Vimeo, there are some different versions of this pilot. At different lengths and different scenes and sort of thing. But we saw one on Vimeo that was 17 minutes long, and that's what we're going to talk about.
And it was the director's cut.
Okay.
It said on it, it said director's cut on it. So that's why I watched that one, because I think I did find it on YouTube.
You know what to do, Tube.
But I didn't want to do Tube.
Correct.
At all.
You wanted Vimeo.
Because you gave me the classically blue link, so I Vimeo'd it.
Good job. I think this warrants a little bit of setup as well. This is a very surreal, absurdist style of comedy. These are things that change, that don't make sense. You're supposed to accept as comedy and try to keep pace with them. This changes rapidly. It's almost kind of like a bizarre, kind of like a UCB sketch show where things tie together later at the end, but just kind of very tangentially to where there's no solid story. It's all just bizarre absurdists.
Right. And also, you're thinking it's for Comedy Central, so it's probably one of those 20-minute shows. And so they're cramming a whole bunch of stuff in. Yeah. And you have to, unlike animation, I think animation in those 15-20-minute blocks flow better than live action.
Sure.
Personally.
Okay. Yeah.
And so when you're watching this, you have to kind of take that in consideration, that it's you think, oh, well, a regular pilot for... a 30-minute pilot, it's only like 23 minutes long. It's only a couple extra minutes. 6 extra minutes is a long time.
Yeah, sometimes these things are just made, and they're not meant to be shown on TV. They're just kind of saying, hey, this is what we're capable of. This is our style of comedy, or this is our style of whatever.
It's like trying out for a baseball team.
Yep.
You might not hit a home run,
but you can see what they're capable of
right.
to a degree and say, maybe we want to invest time and money into this thing, right? So you got a super silly intro, just some goofy shots of the people that are involved, and pretty much it's just Tim Robinson and this Mark fellow, right?
Pretty much.
And they play all the different characters within the show. So first you got a suited guy. He's on a phone in an office, and he's talking to a woman, right?
Nope.
Okay, what do you got?
My opening scene was the flipper bar.
Okay. I got that one too.
Okay.
So this is the other one. So you got a man at the bar. It's called the Flipper, and
He's like, just to let you know, this is a flipper bar.
he says it's a flare bar.
Flare bar. That's right.
And so Tim is the Tim Robinson. That guy he starts dancing erotically while like getting the guy a beer, and he's like spilling it and shaking it and dancing sexy, even though he's not necessarily a sexy man.
No, he's just. It's kind of like a spoof on Cocktail.
Or Cocktail or like a Coyote Ugly.
Yeah,
kind of like that stuff. He starts throwing over, and then he gives him the empty beer bottle. He's like, "That'll be $6.50."
And he's like, "It's empty." He's like, "I'll just give me some coffee."
And then he like it's boiling hot coffee. And then it cuts to a different scene, or I don't know if he's flashing back to something, but the other guy, Mark, he opens his food truck, right?
Yeah, he's like, I got a food truck. And Tim, of course, is the best friend. And
well, I thought this was very funny too. The first guy ordering, he's like, "I'll take a bowl of chili or something and a couple of lettuce."
A couple lettuce.
He's like a cup of lettuce, and he's like, "No, a couple lettuce."
Right.
Like 2 pieces of lettuce. And he's like, and he looks at him like, "Is in it?" He's like, "Yes, 2
Duh.
Hello." This is the kind of absurdist behavior that it just sets the tone for the rest of this pilot.
Right. You can see just in the first segment, it's just going to be.
It's all
goofy
goofy
It's
shit.
all just goofy shit.
And then, Tim, they bring him in, and it's kind of like a freeze frame, a quick narration. It's like, "Hey, my name's Tim. My favorite color is blue. That's probably all you need to know about me."
Right. And then he come to find out Tim went to the courthouse and was hitting on a girl, and she says, "Yeah, I like a guy with a job," and all of a sudden he becomes the health inspector.
Yep.
And so he's like, "And my first job's going to be inspecting your food truck." He's like, "Oh, Mark is like, "Oh, cool, go ahead." And he's like, quick shots.
When he comes in and starts telling him all this shit, he's got like a gondola or some kind of club sandwiches, and he's shaking it around, spilling everywhere. And then when he goes to inspect the place, it's his own sandwich that he like basically marks him off for.
Right, and then he shuts him down. And the next shot is the picture of the food truck closed up, and it just is condemned on it.
And he's like,
in spray paint.
He's like, "Dude, you got to make a choice. Me as your friend or the health inspector." And he's like, "I choose the city health inspector, of course." And then there's a scene where there's a dollar on a string prank, right? The old one where you like take a fishing wire that you can barely see and you put it on a dollar, and someone goes to pick it up and they pull it, and then you like are chasing this dollar, right?
Right, but there's no wire on the dollar bill.
I think there is, isn't there? And he's just not doing anything.
He's just not doing it right.
Yeah, he's just letting the people pick it up.
Yeah, he's just letting people pick it up, and he's like, "Ha ha." Yeah, that was.
And him and his friend go back and forth. He's like, "This is how you do it." And he's like, "I don't know." And then he ends up like doing it in front of a hobo. The hobo picks it up, and then Tim, for whatever reason, feel like he is obligated to follow the hobo whose string is attached to the dollar bill.
And then it becomes a big montage, like a vaudeville kind of. It's real quick.
Yeah, it's a silly montage with music, and he ends up like at a Coke dealer's house where a Coke guy overdoses on a couch. So it goes from something that's really silly to like really dark and serious, but it's all in fun. It's all in silliness, absurd humor, because that's the tone of the show.
Right, and then it cuts to Tim in high school.
He's got a tough time in junior high school or something.
Right, and the shot is him in the coach's office, and the coach is Bob Odenkirk, which is awesome.
He had a lot to do with putting this pilot together.
Oh, okay, thank you. And he's like, you basically getting cut from the basketball team.
Why is that?
Because of Air Bud.
And then he said, I could be on the football team. He's like, "No, we got a golden receiver."
Golden receiver. Which
is great. I mean, what series of films than the Air Bud series are more like susceptible to this kind of funny, like
right.
it's fodder is what it is. And then they have like a commercial for a place called Flubbies, where it's like awful food at just awful prices.
And well, in that it's kind of a confusing commercial. It's probably my favorite bit on the show, because when he's like, he's like announcing like what their specials are, and he like announces what the name of the food is, and he's like, it's $1.87 or $11.87. It's just the prices change like during the commercial.
It's a bad business model. And you might be having trouble keeping up with what we're saying.
You will.
I'm having trouble keeping up.
Right, you would definitely have trouble keeping up.
This is a extremely fast-paced sketch show in essence. But it's not in front of a live audience. It's a single camera, quick pace show.
It's all edited up,
Yep.
But the good thing about it is it's 17 minutes long. So if you watch this and go, what the fuck just happened? You can go back and watch it again. You're not wasting an hour and 13 minutes.
So they have a flashback to Tim and Mark, who are the friends, and they're in the woods, and Mark is bitten by a snake.
Oh, Jesus.
And then they keep having to suck the venom out. And he gets bit again and again. And one time he gets bit in the butt. And he's like, well, what side, the left or right? And he's like, right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
I got bit in my butthole.
Yeah, that's so the first time he gets bit, it gets bit in the ankle or the leg, and he sucks it out, and then it's the butthole, and then finally he's like
he gets bit again in the dick shaft.
Right.
He says.
He's like, you're gonna have to suck it out.
He says, quit being a fag and suck his dick. And then Tim, it goes back to him out of his flashback. He's back in the drug den with the dealer, and then the dealer kind of freaks out and comes out of it, and then Tim punches him to death.
And he's like, one punch, buddy, or something like that. What do you think of that?
And then there's like a gun on him, and Mark enters, right? In the drug den, a guy comes in after Tim punches the drug dealer, and another guy, he's got a gun on him, and then Mark enters, and he's like trying to jump in front of the bullet that's going to kill Tim, but instead Air Bud jumps
right
in front, and it's like the dog is clearly shot. And then Tim loses his job as the city health inspector, and he runs for mayor.
Right, and the food truck's back open,
and that's it. That's a surprising amount of notes for such a whirlwind of events.
Right.
Boy, does that leave the opportunity open for some turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
When I think about absurdist humor, I think about my great fellas at Stella, right?
Yes.
I think about Tim and Eric,
Yes.
These guys set the standard. These guys went the distance and had the gold bar of absurdist style humor. Maybe even go far as back as Monty Python, maybe. I don't know.
I would class Stella here.
Okay.
That's like at my eye level.
Right.
And then I would put Tim and Eric lower in regards to
quality.
There's a difference. There's absurd humor for the sophisticated. There's absurd humor for
gross out,
the frat boy jock. You know what I mean?
You think Tim and Eric is frat boy jock humor?
It's all right in the middle.
Okay.
This right here that we watched is frat boy absurdist humor, just to make you laugh. Tim and Eric's in the middle, and then Stella is, and I'm biased because I'm in love with a couple of them. But so that to me, there's different tiers of absurdist.
Sure,
comedy.
you can break it down any way you want.
Break it down. Oh. Can't touch this.
But why didn't this work? I really think this was about 11, 12 minutes, right? This one was because there are different versions of this. I think it's just other things they had recorded, but this is the one that they handed into Comedy Central, or Comedy Central helped them make.
Right. I would think that this would go on like Adult Swim or Comedy Central. I really do think that it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
It's got to be cheap for the most part. To be honest with you, it's got to be cheap. It's not like they're not spending a lot of money on these.
And it's fast. That's prime candidate for Adult Swim.
Right.
When you're working with 12-minute shows, whether it's cartoons or live action, and you have something this whirlwind, it's too much to 22 minutes would be exhausting probably for this pace of a show.
Yeah. Would you say that possibly Turbulence could it be that there wasn't any star power to help this get picked up?
Maybe.
I mean,
Maybe.
Yes, they're funny guys, and a lot of people know them in Chicago. Like you said,
Kevin Clark knows Tim Robinson.
Exactly. Why and why? Yeah, maybe he's probably got his phone number. We should probably call.
We should probably get a hold of Tim.
Yeah. Let's get a hold of Tim.
Let's try this.
You want to call Kevin right now and see if there's any way he knows how to contact him?
Sure. Go ahead and do that. And while you do that, I will continue to talk about the show here.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just thought it'd be funny a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't.
Maybe it won't be funny at all. I don't know.
I don't know what funny is.
So says Adam Z. If this show had survived, all you're going to do is get more of the same.
Right.
Just
it's
more
just
crazy, weird humor, bizarre bits, just them acting as different characters and just awful scenarios. I'm not against that. There is a place for this. And this splintered culture that we have and all these different avenues for media, this could work.
Oh, definitely. It could work.
This could work.
Hello.
Hello, this is Blake Clayton from the Let's Try This podcast. I mean, from Couch Pilots.
Oh, hello, Captain Philip Restisher.
I also have Captain Black with me. Can you hear her?
Good evening.
Yes, I can hear both of you, yes.
Are you currently at a strip club or driving down the road with a big donut in your hand as a salesman?
Yes, I am.
Holy cow, this late at night? Wow.
You're doing both of those?
Yeah, I'm driving inside. So you know those driving simulators, like the video games in the arcade?
Of course we do.
They actually, you know how they say, like, video gaming here? And, like, I went into the strip club because it said video gaming here.
Sure.
And actually, it's just arcade games, video games. So I actually am just driving this game in the arcade at the strip club. Yes.
This guy, his yes hand, it's like he graduated.
That's actually kind of the reason we're calling you. Can you hear me okay, Kevin?
Yeah, I can hear you all right. What's going on?
Well, I don't know. You're probably not privy to this as of yet because this is a little bit ahead of time, but we are currently...
in the future.
We are in the future contacting you. We have your winning lotto numbers.
Correct.
Now, what we want to do is we want to ask you about a pilot that we watched. It's called My Mans. Have you any recollection of this?
What is the name of the pilot?
It's called My Mans.
My Mans?
Yeah. It is. It was created... Have you heard of the Cook County Social Club?
Cook County Social Club.
This is a comedy troupe, and one of the members is Tim Robinson.
Tim Robinson, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we brought you up earlier in the show during the Interesting Facts section because obviously you have a connection to Second City and at one point had met or hung out with Tim Robinson, and he wrote and starred in this pilot that we're discussing today.
Yes.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, we tried it for sure. Do you have any? Do you have any kind of insight to this, or anything you would like to add? Because we thought, who better than someone who knew or met the person that starred in this pilot?
Was Tim cool? Was he a jerk? Do you have his phone number?
No, I never got his phone number. He was a very good guy. Yeah, I know him. I hung out with him and actually Daniel Van Kirk in the same night. Daniel Van Kirk, of course, of podcast fame on the show. I forgot what it's called now.
Not very famous.
It used to be called Scarborough Country, and he would be on Scarborough County with the Sklar brothers, and they just moved over to Farrell, and so the name of their new podcast.
It's like something like Dumb People or something like that, or
Dumb People Town. Dumb People Town. That's correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Kevin's. See how we
pride
work.
and joy in Rochelle, Illinois. Let me tell you.
Awesome. Very cool. But you were not so did you know that he was part of this group called the Cook County Social Club? Is the sketch comedy group in the Chicago area?
You know, it sounds familiar now that you say it. I mean, I don't remember ever really, hanging out with them specifically, but that makes sense that that's what they would call themselves.
There was also Mark Raterman and Andy Mayara. Did you know those guys?
I don't know those guys off the top of my head. I bet you if I saw them, seeing those people is the only thing. Like, I didn't know I knew Tim Robinson until I saw his face, and I was like, oh, that's that guy. So, yeah.
He's actually not a fat guy anymore, and he's done some really funny things since this show and since his time on SNL, but I thought that was really cool that you knew him, and we wanted to give you a shout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he also did I don't know if it was just a pilot or if it was a whole series called Detroit with Michael Che, I think, was the guy who he did it with.
Michael Che being one of the writers on SNL and one of the co-hosts of the Weekend Update Desk.
Correct, yeah. And him and Tim Robinson did a show called Detroit, I believe, and I think it did go for one season. And you know what? I might be wrong there. It might have stopped at a pilot, and you guys might have to just dive deep into that one. But that's all my knowledge of him post Second City and pre SNL really. Was that might have even been post SNL, the Detroit thing, but it looks like it's SNL.
It's currently the My Man's is, I think it's right before SNL. I think he was on the 2013 season, and this one came out in 2012. It looks like there is something that he was a writer on called Detroiters.
Detroiters, that's the one.
And it looks like they did have 10 episodes, so unfortunately, it does not couch Pilot's fodder.
Yeah, but I remember that did happen. I remember a couple of my buddies at Second City being like, "Oh yeah, check this show, Detroiters." I'd never heard of My Man's though. I'd never heard of that.
It's a fast-paced, absurdist comedy sketch style show, and you should totally check it out. It's worth it, and it's actually pretty funny.
I 100% will before I listen to this episode.
Well, you should click one of our classically blue links to do so.
Oh, I definitely will. and you know what? Spoiler alert. I don't know if I told you guys this yet, but I did tell you both about this, but I got a little bit of a something in the works for you. I got some T-shirts for you. Just one for both of you.
Oh,
holy smokes!
Yeah, they came in.
Head of merchandising, right, Blake?
Yes, definitely. The head of merchandising, Kevin, is in charge of them. And you're going all over the state right now, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Where you need to say correct one more time.
I'm correct. I'm going to Quincy, Illinois, on Wednesday evening. Staying over there. Might go to Hannibal, Missouri, home of Mark Twain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Samuel Clemens.
I don't know. That's
better than
there's
better than being the home of Hannibal Lecter.
Exactly. A little bit better. Not that much better, from what I hear.
We have been drinking.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. I'm very concerned. You're doing a lot of stuff on the road now. You're doing all the nuts and you're doing all the bolts, right?
Of course. Yes.
Okay. So your wife is by herself, and Gus is just the two of them. Who is protecting them while you're gone? Did you have
Gus is actually, unfortunately, orphaned as of this recording.
What?
What?
No, he has not been orphaned. He has not been orphaned.
Oh, jeez.
I thought Blake's brother got a hold of him.
I was like, I just saw an Instagram picture of him sleeping on his belly.
Yeah, exactly. He is currently enjoying his life with his single mother while I'm on the road. I do love them both very much, but yeah, I am on the road quite a bit. I miss them, but that's the way she goes. As you know, if you're flying the skies, you got to leave the family for a bit.
He's right. He's exactly right.
Yeah, DSJ, I'm sure he has to work some long, hard hours. And
he's made some
away from
sacrifices.
his little baby too, you know. So
absolutely.
Well, buddy, we love you very much, and we want you to stay safe on the road. And we'd love to have you join us on this plane whenever you get a chance.
Of course, I would. I would love to.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you for your insight.
Safe travels.
Hey, stay safe up there, folks.
Thanks. Bye. This phone call cost me $47.
I'm sorry, but hey,
it was
stay safe up, flying the smooth skies.
Right. Later, buddy.
All right, we'll see you.
See ya.
Woo, that guy.
Actually hung out with one of the stars of the show. That's pretty cool, right?
And
that's a Couch Pilots first.
When I said I was going to call him, you were like, this is stupid. Don't do it.
I did not say that at all. I love the Clarkses.
No, you thought my idea was dumb. What would have been dumb is if he would have not answered. Then it would have been super dumb.
I think Kevin will always take your call.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
I don't want to dwell on it too much, but Kevin Clark, knowing one of the stars of the show, being in that comedy community around that time, he wasn't aware of this pilot. No one is aware of this pilot.
You know, I think Kevin needs to watch it because they might have taken one of his ideas and used it, not given him writer credit for it.
Which idea?
Any of the, like, I don't know, the fluffy restaurant.
Oh, you don't mean like watch it as in watch out. I mean, you mean literally watch it to see if one of his ideas was
exactly.
Okay, I got you. Nobody is talking about My Mans. It's not even on IMDb.
Are you serious?
It's not even there to be rated.
6.5.
You nailed it. For all intents and purposes, you nailed it. But it's not out there. There's no reviews anywhere from critics or viewers.
That's crazy.
It's obviously not on Rotten Tomatoes, and oddly enough, it's not on IMDb.
You got to tweet those guys.
This is an enigma. This is a fart in the wind.
It's like the Northern Lights.
It's like the Aurora Borealis, right? Did you say fuck me?
No.
What are you, Tyler? No one's talking about this, though.
That's crazy.
So you know what? You and I talked about it. And now,
we popped its cherry.
We popped the cherry. Now we're going to rate it. Rate that cherry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Ratings, right?
Ratings.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom.
1 to 7. That's the scale. A lot of people say 1 to 5.
A lot of people say 1 to 10.
Some people say 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down. No. 1 to 7.
1 to 5 bottle caps.
No, that's ridiculous.
Fucking that's stupid.
1 to 7. That's the scale. That's the scale.
It's the scale that all scales should be measured upon.
7 is the number of heaven, right? If man is 5 and the
7
devil is 6.
7 minutes in heaven when you go into a closet with a girl.
7-minute abs, right? It's all about 7. Lucky number 7.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying
7
is
clubs.
the 700 Club. Exactly right. Thank you. Number 1. That's the worst you're gonna get. You can't get worse than 1. That's the bottom of the barrel, unless you're legally blonde, in which you are a 0.
Right. Roy Biggins is 1. He was the mustache, big fat guy. Greasy, always sweating, and he
morbidly obese.
And he ran the other airline that was the
Aeromass.
Aeromass. And he was always trying to pull a fast one on.
Pull a fast one, the Hackett boys, right?
Fuck that guy.
F him right in his own A.
Number 6.
Number 6 is a Helen Chapel. And then, of course, the top. Of course, we always mention the lowest, the second to the best, and then the best. Number 7 being Brian Hackett, which is the best, right?
It was not. 6 is not a Helen Chapel.
6 is a Helen Chapel.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm going to go through them because you're obviously a crazy person.
I thought it was Faye.
And we're 90 episodes in. No, it's 1 is Roy Biggins. 2 is Faye Cochran. 3 is Antonio
I said
Scarpacci.
6, didn't I?
You absolutely
Okay, I fucked up. Never mind.
4 is Joe Hackett. 5 used to be Lowell Mather, and then Brian Haley, who starred on Wings as Bud Bronsky, he was our direct connection to Wings. He's a number 5, right? To me, I love Lowell Mather almost more than anyone, but if you contact the show, you get replaced.
And it was an email that was like, if you would have printed it out double spaced, it was like 3 pages long.
And he even mentions like Steven Seagal in there. That was an awesome email. We love Brian Haley.
He is so unafraid of Steven Seagal. He was talking shit about him. He's like, "I'll fuck Steven Seagal up."
I have never met someone more unafraid of Steven Seagal. Number 6, as you previously mentioned and championed, it's Helen Chapel. And again, of course, number 7, the coolest guy in the block, the wavy long hair. You got the sunglasses, the brown leather bomber jacket. He goes by the name of Brian Hackett. That's what you want to get.
Hell yeah.
Every pilot, they lay down and they look straight up and they say, I wish I was a Brian Hackett. I want to be a Brian Hackett. Few make it. Last week we had one. A perfect score for Where Have All the People Gone? You gave it a perfect score.
Perfect score. I love it.
You don't hand those out.
I made my kids watch it.
You handed it out for Global Frequency, and you also handed it out for Super Clyde. And that may be it.
Second Super Clyde, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that might be it.
It's just a handful.
You're right. I've only got a handful under my belt, too.
Right.
And I like to get a hand under my belt.
Hello. I'm jerking them off.
Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate My Mans?
I'll tell you what. I had a predisposed number that I was going to, and then Kevin really gave us some more insight. God. Again, there's tiers to absurd comedy.
Tears in heaven.
If I saw you, whoops, my baby fell down.
Jesus, good.
Too soon?
Man. Yep.
I saw a meme. Something was like about, you know what I'm talking about? It
His son dying? Yes, I do know.
No, there was a meme. It says something like, "What's the difference between a baby and a bag of Coke?" and it was Eric Clapton would never drop a bag of Coke.
Good God.
Anyway,
and folks, in case you're wondering, that's how you go to hell.
To me, this is frat boy absurdist comedy. It's still funny.
Yeah.
I know it's 15 minutes. They're trying to cram. It's very hard to cram any kind of sense into a live action show for 15 minutes. No star power. I mean, to me, I wouldn't say that there was star power. I mean, yes, he's known, but it's not star power, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin did a great job when we called him.
That doesn't factor in.
The Flubbies commercial I thought was funny.
Yeah.
I unfortunately laughed at the snake bite one. I laughed when you said "you fag."
Yeah, sure.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a Kevin bump.
Oh, a Kevin bump.
Yeah.
The Clark bumper.
I had wrote a 3, but I'll give it a 4 with a Kevin bump.
Okay.
Because he knows the guy.
I'm going to go. I have no bumps. I have no skin in the game concerning bumps.
I don't need to suck anything out of you. You don't have any bumps?
No, sir. I'm suck free. No suck jobs needed here. I'm going to give it 1 higher and say it's a 5. This is pretty funny. This is my kind of humor. When people's clothes switch automatically when you're jumping around to ridiculous scenarios, and it's only because you cannot tolerate this for more than like 12 minutes.
No, yeah, it would fry your brain, and you would throw something at the TV.
Just announced, Tim and Eric are having a new season of Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job. They kind of have, they can do whatever they want pretty much. And Comedy Central or Adult Swim will say, yeah, we'll take whatever you do. But that show, I've seen every episode of it, and it's only like 12, 15 minutes a piece because they just beat the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. And that's what this show did. It's slightly different. I kind of agree with you and say that it is a fratty humor. But I like it. It's still absurdist enough to where I enjoy it, and it's still intelligent enough to where I enjoy it. I'm giving this a 5. I think this is funny. I would watch 10 episodes of this. I would check it out. I understand why it didn't get picked up. There really is no star power. I mean, Bob Odenkirk was in it for 30 seconds. Great. But not 30 seconds to a pilot make.
Air Bud was, I don't think it was the real Air Bud. I have a feeling it was not the real Air Bud.
I think you're probably right.
I think one of them had a golden retriever, and they just brought it on set.
They wrote around their dog.
Exactly.
So we got a 4, and we got a 5. And with that, we close the book on My Mans, and we will never speak of it again.
Most likely never, ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Old Money. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Comedy about a fabulously wealthy family and the servants who work for them. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or download the app for Daily Motion and check out all of the commotion.
I've tried to get a hold of them for sponsorship.
Yeah.
Heard nothing back
Germans.
from them. Germans.
Yeah.
And that the email that I got back was German.
I know a German lady. Maybe she can help us out.
Hey, ask her.
Maybe she can help me out.
When was the last time you talked to her?
Last year.
It's about that time again, right? She comes once a year, right?
Yeah, she does.
Guess what? When you get a text message tomorrow, you'll be like, Blankets fucking knows the future.
CouchPilotsPodcast.com. That's a website that exists, and it has to do with this show.
It's got our picture on it.
Thankfully, it has to do with this because it's the name of our show.
Right. We didn't steal it. We paid for it.
No, we didn't. We didn't Shanghai it from anyone. We paid for it with our
Surprise!
own. Go there. All of our shows are there. We have this at this point. We've got 91 programs you can listen to.
We're heading into season 10.
Yeah, that's where the big money is. That's the horizon. That's what we've been working for since day one. Right?
Man, I can't believe it.
Can't believe it either. We're almost 2 years into this.
Many women have asked us to stop this show directly.
Right, and we say no.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. That's right. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. You can go to CouchPilotsPodcast.com and you can contact us all those different ways in one spot. It's like a Walmart. Our website is like Walmart. If it's not there, you don't need it, right?
Right.
Everything you have to live is right on this website concerning Couch Pilots.
You can even get the dial-in number.
You know what that is?
I don't know what it is. I know you can get it from the website.
It's on the website as well. It's 910-PILOTS-1.
It's under the contact tab.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Okay.
It's 1-910-PILOTS-1, which in turn is 1-10-745-6871.
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
What a way to then thank you. We had a couple voicemails this time. People contact us on a variety of social media. We love it. We love interacting with you.
Yeah.
It really does make us feel good.
We have to think up less content too.
What's that?
The more feedback we have, the less banter content we have to come up with.
You're helping us. You're making us lazier by proxy, and we enjoy that. So please contact us in any format. You're going to garner some frequent flyer points. I know we haven't talked about frequent flyer points in the past few weeks, but all of our frequent listeners are frequent flyers. And if you listen to the show, if you respond to the show, contact us, tell a friend, download, stream, share, whatever it is, retweet, you're getting frequent flyer points. And that is, it's climbing the charts is almost as valuable as Bitcoins.
There's no other podcast that offers people prizes, surprise prizes, all these things just for listening. Usually they're like, hey, go to our website now, click our donate button.
For what? Why would I do that? Right?
To pay for the Libsyn, to pay for the website.
But what do I get besides a show?
Exactly, nothing.
Right? Nothing. So why would I do that? But with us, it's different.
We're so stupid. We're saying we'll give you a free show and frequent flyer points for listening to it.
Absolutely. You mean both you and I?
People say we're stupid. I don't think so.
I don't think so. We're both narcissistic nerds doing podcasting, but
super narcissistic.
So we're in tune with these other shows. We listen to the medium. We're a part of the medium. So we know that there's no other show out there doing what we do. Be a part of the Couch Pilots family and the Frequent Flyer system.
And to be honest with you, there was another podcast that was in the same realm as us.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard from them in months.
I have them on my feed, and they haven't posted since March. I hope they come back. I do enjoy the show.
But I think maybe they're listening to our show and we're like, we can't keep up.
They started a little bit before this. Maybe they're like Batman, and they're hanging up their
Batman.
I am the knight.
Maybe they're hanging up their mantle and passing it over to us.
Amen.
I don't know. Maybe.
Good day, mate.
Good day. And that's where Dee Dee found us.
Oh,
right?
yeah. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for that show, we would have never met Dee Dee, and we would never fell in love with her.
That's right. That's exactly right. FCFnetwork.com. There's another website. If you're like, I only have 2 spots in my internet browser to save websites. First, you got to save CouchPilotspodcast.com, and then you got to save FCFnetwork.com. Not only do we have 90 shows, but other people have tons of shows too. You can listen to the Low Blow podcast. They're out of Chicago.
Drunken Lullabies.
Yeah. You got the Metal Hand of God. They're out of New Orleans.
Our new baby.
They're terrifying. They scare me to death, and I embrace it.
I love it.
Let's try this. Out of Peoria, Illinois.
You heard Kevin on the phone tonight?
He was here tonight.
Yes.
How did we do that? Technology.
I love technology.
The show is built in the back of his
but
songs.
not as much as you see.
There's archive shows too. Go to the website, dig around, have fun with it. So much content, all free, all fun. You're going to find something that you'll like.
Yep.
Share the show. Share it. Seriously, just even verbally telling a friend, the Pachinko machine knows all, and you will get frequent flyer points as a result. Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you as I did during the ratings. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to our frequent flyers this evening?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, this is a change of pace.
I want to say thank you. I want to. We're heading into season 10 of Couch Pilots.
We couldn't have done it, right?
We couldn't have done it without listeners. And to be honest with you, like all the fan feedback we've gotten has helped build the je ne sais quoi
Absolutely.
of the show. And it's fun for me. It's fun hearing other people describe what they thought of us and what they thought of those shows. And we've connected with people from Australia. There's people in Thailand that have downloaded the
Is that
show.
true?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Netherlands. And it wouldn't be worth. I love hanging out with you. Don't get me wrong.
It's barely worth it though. Otherwise,
it's barely worth it. But when all these people, Mississippi, that's so far away.
Mississippi Queen.
God, I love it. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. I love everybody. Love all you guys.
Can you imagine doing 90 episodes of this show
and
no one listened to it?
Yes, I know.
You been there?
I've been there.
Oh,
I've done that.
Oh, and with that sad note, this pilot, it may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Me love you, you love me.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.